Okay, so this isn't going to be as positive of a video as I would hope that it would be. Um, so, since the last video I posted, I've been dicking around with these bikes. They're from Bikeberry, the B2 100, the BT 100 V2. Um, I'm just not sure what's going on. I've tried everything. I've I've had issues where I've troubleshot tons of other engines. Just never had an issue like this. That was, I don't know. Uh, been out here pulling a lot of all nighters, just messing with this thing, and on top of that, I got to work around the heat, of course. But yeah, I'm resigning for today, at least. Try and get back out here and get back at it tomorrow. I'm gonna post a separate video, a short one of this thing running so that you can see what it's doing. And basically basically I get going and I start, and no matter what I do, you can barely touch the throttle, and right away it starts to chug out and sputter and hopping and all that stuff. And I've tried everything. I've tried four different carburetors, adjusted to every possible adjustment you can think of. I've tried three different CDIs: stock, high conductive, and the stage one high performance CDI, high voltage one. I've tried with and without the air filter. I've tried with a velocity stack. I've changed the spark plugs. I've tried different fuel ratios, two different fuel ratios. I mean, not a whole bunch, but I mean, I can't just keep buying and wasting gas. Uh, Checked for leaks. There's no compression leaks or air leaks, nothing like that. I don't know. Maybe the fuel line is too long. Maybe, I don't know. That it can't be it though, because I mean, there's people that have their tank on the back of their bike, and they got a line that runs all the way to the front, so it couldn't possibly be that. The other bike on top of that, I know for a fact has uh, a gasket seal leak somewhere up in the front, because when I stop the engine, I can hear it hissing a little tiny bit. This one doesn't have that issue, but it's still presenting with the same performance issues where I can't get this thing like above 18 miles per hour, and getting to 18 miles per hour is like, oh my god, it's like a struggle. I mean, this thing is like, when you kick it over, it's basically like fighting to stay alive. Uh so I that's the case with that right now. I'm going back and forth talking with Bikeberry, trying to see if they can help me troubleshoot any type of, I don't know, particular issues that this model of engine might have. Turn this fuel off. On top of that, speaking of fuel, which is why my bikes have two, separate fuel cutoffs, because for this one, the one on the tank isn't working. This one does work, and yesterday I had one of the carburetors I tried uh, flooded out and leaked like half a gallon of gas on the floor. So my garage reeks like gas now. The shop is just stinks right now. Uh, but yeah, what happened basically is these carburetors, right? They have up under here inside of the bowl. They have what's called a floater. It's like a little plastic donut that sits in there, and when it gets fuel in it, it floats. It rises and falls depending on the fuel level that's in there, which allows it to manage the feed of fuel into the engine and whatnot. Um, what happens is sometimes that this floater in here, it gets just it has a bad seal on it, and fuel gets into the actual floater, causing the floater to sink. And then there's these two prongs. I'll show you guys in a second. There's these two prongs that get raised and everything up and down by the floater. Those just stay down, so the fuel stays open, and then all your fuel just starts leaking out of here, out of your air intake. So that's what happened. So that was, yet another thing that just, it's just been one the past 2 weeks dealing with these bikes, trying to get them to run right, has just been, one of those things where it's just, you think you fix one problem only for another thing to pop up. And, once I got past all that and finally got these things where I could get them out there test ride, and then they start running like shit. So anyways, I'll show you here. Um, this is the carburetor that had the issue, and this is the floater. You can see this is what happens. It gets full of fuel, and then it just stops. It stops properly adjusting the fuel feed and whatnot. So I'll show you. Get some stuff out of the way here, because I don't want this video to be a complete waste. Show you guys how you fix that real quick. You got a screw here, and you got a screw here. With the NTs, they're on top. With the buffings, the screws are on the bottom. But same but different, but still same. Take these screws out. And this is just an old NT carburetor that I'm never going to use, but you keep these things because you never know when you're going to need the parts. So you can't just put any other floater. This is an NT speed carburetor, the one that had a problem. But the NT speed carburetor and the old school NT carburetors are the same size as far as the bowl and configuration. It's really just the jets that are changed on the speed carburetor. So these bowls are the same. So like if you tried to use one from a buffing, you see I got a floater from that sitting around here somewhere. Well, oh no, I put that one away. Anyways, the ones from the buffing have a larger hole here in the center. And they have like a little bit of a lip, like a recess or raised lip on the bottom. The NTs don't have that. So you got to forgive me. I'm dealing with this heat out here. It's like 108 degrees right now in the garage. All right. So you take those donuts out, and you're just going to, let's see, make sure I got the right one. Yeah. You're just going to, these are the prongs that I was talking about. And when you're disassembling this pin here, it does just fall out. There's nothing securing it in. So make sure you're mindful of that. Anyways, these prongs are what rise and fall that tiny little bit. And that's what manages letting the fuel, stopping the fuel from overflowing and everything. So this goes back on there. You got your gasket on there already. And then just line everything up. Your bowl, pop your bowl on there. Then you screw everything back together. It's a simple fix. Now those prongs, from time to time, and this would be just a quality check issue, but those prongs from time to time can have an issue where they're not bent properly or angled properly, so they're not closing enough. And with that, that's more of a technical issue that you got to use a micrometer when you're doing it to make sure you're measuring properly. But what you're going to do with that is basically just bend those forks up into a position where they're going to seal properly. But So there's a quick little pro tip of the day or whatever you want to call it, but ultimately that's kind of just where I'm at right now. Is I'm occupied, totally occupied and consumed with trying to get these things to just run properly. I still have a third engine that I haven't built and put together yet, but I don't got the frame I want for that yet. So you know, time will tell on this. So just hang in with me there on that one, and we'll get these things going eventually. And once I do, we'll get to enjoy them. You guys will get to see the videos. Trust and believe me, this really really sucky for me because it's been like a month now since I've been able to take a ride. Uh, and to be honest, it really sucks for me because I mean, it's like the one of the main things that like I do to, you know, have some peace in my day. Uh, and then on top of things, like my service dog, he moved on last year, so days like this, normally the thing I would do when feeling kind of defeated at the end of the day is, go inside and sit with my dog and just kind of like chill out with him, maybe pop some Call of Duty on. And can't do that no more, and that sucks. It sucks because I have other dogs and everything, but he was my service dog. He was very trained to be very cued in to my uh emotional cues. Um he knew when I'm not having a great day. Now the dog I have right now, who's he's only just starting his training, but he's in training to be my next service dog. But with him, it's more kind of if I went into the living room and just plopped down next to him, with that same kind of attitude, he gives me that like stare like Terminator, and kind of tilts his head like, "Why do you cry?" It's 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 a work in progress, just like these bikes are, I guess. So, but that's what's up right now, and that's what's going on with these bikes. I am working to get those fixed up. I got a bunch of carburetors I'm trying to mess around here with. Um, so we'll see where that progress gets to in a few days. When I've got hopefully more information from Bikeberry on possible things I might have missed. I mean, but honestly, there can't, in my personal opinion, there can't be anything I've missed. I've built so many of these. I know it's all been assembled properly, and I've done nothing but just take off and swap everything on these bikes, magneto everything on these bikes to try and get them to run right, and they're just running like they're starving, like they're either being just completely flooded with fuel or something as I'm riding them, or starved. Something is messing up the fuel ratio. Either that, or somehow there's compression that's being lost. And but honestly, I've checked. There's no leaks, so that's where we're at. So just hang in there with me. In the meantime, I do have other things that I'm gonna make some videos on, so that way we're not sitting here with just a dead channel. Which what it's gonna be is these two chainsaws. I'm gonna be showing you guys how to get your chainsaws tuned up, how to give them a tune up, get them freshened up, get them running, fresh and clean and all that and stuff, and show you what parts you need to replace, show you how to sharpen the chain, all of that stuff. So that's gonna be what's kind of taking the forefront for a few videos here. Um, is tackling these. Um, while I kind of work with these in the background. And you will see as I try different things and make progress or don't make progress. You'll see the shorts. I'll post the shorts and stuff of how these are coming along. But right now, I mean, it's kind of just gonna be boring if I'm just making a bunch of videos of me swapping a part out, taking a test drive, and then coming back to the garage and throwing a wrench at the ground or something. So yeah, all right. So that's where we're at, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.